I'm going to continue the process of getting supplier product data into the Amazon Sourcer Google Sheet. This is continuing from a previous video. If you haven't seen the other videos that led up to this video, you might want to watch those. They're all on this playlist of the Amazon Sourcer tutorial, and that way you'll know what's happening in this particular video. You'll understand how I got to this point. Now, continuing from where I left off, you'll see here on the products list the last row of product data. If you scroll up and you scroll down, you see that the last row that actually has any kind of data on it is row 201. That's because I only copied the first 200 sources so far into SKUGrid, which is the program that I'm using to pull the product data. All right. Now, the supplier product data. So now my next step is I'm going to go back to the sourcing sheet, and I'm only going to the sheet to show you, to remind you of this. Remember, it's 200 sources on the lowest level subscription. When you're on the free trial, that's going to be just 200 sources as well. Okay, that we can pull into SKUGrid at once, and that is why I have the number 200 in here. If you go further and you decided to go on and keep SKUGrid and you decided to go with a bigger subscription for the number of products you can pull, you can then put that larger number in here. Okay, so just 200 at a time, and this is telling you how many sources we have on the sheet total. This number just kind of, you have to sort of ignore it. I mean, it's I wouldn't say ignore, but it's just keeping track of where it left off here, so it knows where to continue from. So that's really for the program more than, not really for you. That's for the program itself. This is how it remembers where it left off. So now what I'm going to do is I need to generate a SKUGrid import CSV. Okay, I did this before, but I'm doing it again for the next 200 sources. All right, so it will continue from where it left off, and it will now copy the next 200 sources. Okay, let's take a look at what the first source is here on that is coming up next. You can see it's these hat hooks. Okay, hat hooks is the next source on our list. All right, and we see it here. Okay, so basically when I go to SKUGrid now, I'm going to go to the SKUGrid import CSV that I just generated, and you'll see that the first link is the hat hooks. Okay, the same link. All right, that makes sense because these are the links that I am now, this is where I'm continuing from. Okay, so now I'm going to download this CSV, file, download CSV, create a CSV file that I'm now going to take this import CSV over to SKUGrid, and I'm going to bring those products in here. Okay, so SKUGrid can get the product data. The problem is I already have products in here from the first run, so I need to delete them. It's plain and simple. Go to batch options, remove in items, delete all items, click OK. This will now delete all of the products from the SKUGrid system. Every single product is deleted. Okay, now that the system is cleared, it says all items were purged. I'll just close that out. Click on import export. Click on import CSV. Click on choose CSV file, and simply click on the file. This is the last file, the one that I just downloaded, CSV file. It's just named after the Google Sheet and the sheet that I downloaded, the SKUGrid import CSV. Just click open, and it will then come in to the system. Right, all those products I just downloaded, those links will now come in. So now I just have to wait for that product data to appear. Okay, I do have to wait for that process to happen. Now, meanwhile, just for, let's say, the sake of workflow, my suggestion is that you always try to keep that process flowing, but you do have to stop to wait for it to fetch product data. So what you can do while you're waiting for that process, okay, just for the sake of more efficient use of time, we can go ahead and start looking at the results that we have. so far. Now, it's important to understand when pulling random products. Okay, I pulled random products off of Amazon for this process. Okay, very much random products out of the home and kitchen category. So most products are not going to be profitable, or for most products, the probability is most products are not going to have profitable sources. Retail sources, especially. Okay, we're dealing with retailers. Okay, dealing with retail arbitrage, retail drop shipping. Okay, so that's something that you have to understand. So that's why you will see way more red, meaning way more negative profits, than you will see positive profits. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that not every product match is actually going to be a product match. So one thing you can do is you can just kind of scroll down. I color coded using conditional formatting that the positive numbers are green, okay, and then the negative numbers are not, right? They're red. So that kind of helps you in this particular sheet. But it's a good thing to know how to actually use the filter. If this is not on, you can turn it on simply by going to data and then filter. Okay, since it is a data, and then you would go to filter. It says remove because it's already on. So what you want to know how to do is filter this. You can click here. Now, because I have it in color, you can do filter by color, fill color green. That would be the quick fix here. But I want you to understand how to do this mathematically. Filter by condition, and then you can select greater than, and then you can put a number, right? Now, you can just put 0 because I'm just looking for it to be a positive number, or you can type in an actual value. Like you could say greater than 10% or something like that, okay? But I'm just going to do greater than 0. Click OK. And it's important that I do this in the ROI, because sometimes you'll see a profit number, but there's actually no price at the supplier. So better to do the ROI rather than the profit, okay? Now, I did FBM, but notice that sometimes FBM is positive, but FBA is negative, because FBA is applying the FBA fee. All right, I put a general FBA fee, just a general number. It's not really the FBA fee for these products. There's software you can use to get the exact FBA fees, and that's something that I have to demonstrate and talk about in another video. But this is just a general FBA fee, just to kind of give us a general idea. If you're doing drop shipping, or you're just fulfilled by a merchant, then you don't care about this FBA fee anyway, and then there's no reason to even worry about it. But you know, you can still use software for other things. Anyway, once you've got this filter down this way, you can just kind of go ahead and start checking these Amazon links versus these sources. And basically, I want to see if they're really even a match. Now, the thing with Amazon is that, you know, unlike other marketplaces, you literally need the exact match, because you're literally joining a pre-existing listing. So you need that match to be an exact match, where on other marketplaces you don't. And so that's going to be something that we have to check for in this process. Okay, so I'm going to just close these, and I'm even going to close SKU Grid, because sometimes SKU Grid, unfortunately, when you add the items, it just gets all frozen and weird. All right, and this means I have to sign in again to SKU Grid, log in. Okay, and it looks like I'm right back in. Okay, so here I am, and these are the products, and they're not necessarily going to be in the same order that I added them, okay, in the CSV. So, but these are the products. All right, now import, export CSV, and then I'm going to go to click here down. So hopefully you saw that process, import, export, right? And then I clicked export CSV. That brought me here. Click here to download the CSV. And now I'm going to bring that CSV into here. So I'm going to go to export CSV. Now with the export CSV, I don't actually want to replace this. Okay, just it's important for me to say that. I want to append it or add to it because right now on the products list, it's using formulas and it's pulling the product data from here right now. Okay, so I need the old export CSV data and I need to add the new data. Okay, so file import, I'm going to show you how to do that. Upload, browse, it's the same process. Wait for this. And teach Amazon. Well, okay. This is the name of my SKUGrid account. If your SKUGrid, whatever your username is, that's what's going to come up, okay? For the file name, and just open that. That's the file I just downloaded from SKUGrid. Do not create a new spreadsheet. Absolutely do not select that. In this case, append to current sheet because I'm adding the data onto the bottom. This new product data, additional product data, okay? You don't have to worry about this. This will not interfere with anything. And this will make it clear to you how many times you added data because you can see it, vendor URL here, and then you see it again here, right? So this is like the second export. Now if I go back to the sourcing sheet, I can clearly see, sorry, not the sourcing sheet. The, what am I doing? The products list. Okay, well, first of all, I have to remove, temporarily, I'll have to remove the filter. And what I'll do is I'll go down to row 201, where it had left off before, and now I'm going to look at 202. And I see that row 202 now has product data. And as you go down, you see product data, right? So this is pretty good. We now see that there's product data in here. Going further down, right? Much further down than before. It goes down to about row 400. So basically the first 400 sources, we have product data. Some are going to be 0, depending on the links. Okay, and it that came out. Some of it might I have to look because I updated the links here. Since I started doing the tutorial video for here, I updated the sourcing so that it gives the same link format. I'm just wondering if that link format affected anything with some of these links not having prices. But sometimes it's that the links are bad. So you'll open the link and like with Walmart, their links still live on the web, see? But when you go to open the link, this is what you get. It doesn't open. All right. So Walmart has a lot of product links like that where the product once existed and like they took it down, but yet it's still there. Like it still comes up on the Google search or whatever. So anyway, that's why you might have some zeros. Just want to let you know. You might see some zeros and stuff for some of your prices. So actually, I can just redo what I was starting to do while I was waiting for SKUGrid. I can highlight the first row, data, create a filter, and just put that filter back. And the thing is, I'm just putting my filter back, but the thing is, you know, you still don't have all the sources filled in, right? We did 400 sources, but you still don't have all of your sources in. Okay, I'm going to go, and I know it might seem like I just kind of jumped to something else here, but just felt it's important for me to say that. So you still see a lot of sources missing here. Sometimes sources are repeated, so you might find some prices down here. But basically, the point is that there are still more sources that need to be added to SKUGrid, right? You see, because look how many rows we have of supplier sources, okay? So you're going to have to keep repeating this process that I did of, you know, deleting all the products from SKUGrid, generating the SKUGrid import CSV, right? Come in here, then downloading that CSV, going back to SKUGrid, importing that CSV with import, waiting for SKUGrid to process. Meanwhile, you can come back here, start looking at your products. And then when you get here, when it's done, come back here and export that CSV and then bring that CSV into the SKUGrid export CSV. That is the process that you have to keep doing for every 200 sources. And I know if you have a lot of sources in the sheet, I get it. That's kind of, try not to think of it as one big thing that you need to do at once. Try to think of it in groups. Do your first 200, see what you get. Do your next 200, see what you get, right? Kind of divide it up that way so you don't feel like you're overwhelmed with just adding sources over and over again. So it's like 200 at a time, right? You do your 200 at a time. Okay, and that is basically what you have to do. Okay, now I do want to kind of like start to look at some products and go through them, but that's not right now for this video. I just want to show you how to continue the process. And in another video, perhaps I can start like looking at some matches, but you have to keep adding more. I'm not going to actually add in every single next 200 products. I mean, you can just keep repeating what I showed you how to do and make that happen. But so what I will probably do is I will continue doing the process of adding 200 products outside of the video, so that in the next video the sources are in there, and then we can really go through the sources, and so there'll be more results to look at. So you should go ahead and do the same. Finish getting your sources in the sheet, start looking at the products, see what kind of results you get. And that is basically it. That is the process. Again, see the description of this video for the links, okay? If you haven't already tried this, the trial link will give you a 7-day free trial on this software, SKU Grid. You'll use it to try to pull in product data from hundreds and hundreds of different suppliers that it works with. It works with all the major ones that I know of for retail, plus many more that you probably haven't heard of, many more. And so you use the link, sign up, and start trying it. Try it out, see if you like the process. And then if you do, you might decide to go ahead with that. You can start off with the most basic subscription, but if you just really want to be able to pull more products at once, you can go pay a bit more, but that's just entirely up to you. And if you don't want to use it at all, you don't have to. You can also just manually go through products. And it's important for me to note that for this video, this tutorial, I used a very random selection of products from Home and Kitchen. So using just a random selection, it's going to be more difficult to source and find like profitable sources. So I just want to keep that in mind. My point being that when you start like doing a more targeted search on Amazon, you could use software to do a more targeted search, getting away from products that are sold by Amazon, for instance, or you could target certain brands. You can even do that with the free method with the Chrome extension. You could, for instance, type in the name of a brand into Home and Kitchen, so you only get a certain brand, and that brand, for instance, I could have just typed in here mainstays if I was doing like mainstays from Walmart, right? Let's just say if I was just looking to arbitrage that product, that brand, and that way I would only be looking at mainstays products. And what that will do is when I pull the products off the page, the results are going to tend to be better, because mainstays is created by Walmart itself, and generally everybody's trying to sell the products at a higher price on Amazon, right? So it's going to be easier to source the products if you go for like a specific brand like that from a particular supplier. Mainstays Walmart is just an obvious example with a major supplier, but even with very small unknown suppliers, they have brands also that they sell, and you can try it with those brands. All right, so just wanted to put that out there, that keep in mind that for the full demo here, this tutorial, I used a very general search, and that makes it a bit more challenging to find profitable products. But if you start targeting your searches on Amazon a bit more, it's going to help you out a lot with getting the exact matches and the profitable products. Okay, so anyway, that's all I have for this particular video. See the description of this video for links. If you don't have this Google Sheet, go ahead and get a copy of it. Try it out. If you have comments, you have questions, suggestions, you can leave them below, or you can contact me at the information provided. I'm Mr. Mark. I look forward to either hearing from you or seeing you around in another video.